What's going on, guys? So today's video is going to be all about how to take out campers, and I'm sure we've all dealt with them in one game or another, but Titanfall is really unique because the mobility system makes it so you can bypass them or at least get some good flank routes that are going to be to your advantage. It also has the benefit of having really cool abilities, so we're going to talk a little bit about tacticals, a little bit about ordinances, and just about decision making and how you're going to set up in order to take out some of these players. Myself, I have more of an aggressive style, so I've had a lot of experience pushing into spawns and pushing into just large groups of people, and I think that's something you have to become more familiar with if you do want to take on campers. And the thing is, campers are going to get you every so often, but the good thing about it is that they're usually pretty static players. It means I'm going to be able to come back for their revenge. And this is not the time to get on tilt, this is the time you get even, and once you know their position, that gives you a huge advantage. And again, these are going to be very static players, which means when you come back for the revenge kill, come back having the knowledge of what you just experienced. I find that a lot of people will just keep rushing head on, and that's not the way you want to do it. I do have a plan. I actually used a gravity star this game because they were using a lot of AWOLs. The gravity star is actually one of the easiest counters to the AWOL because it is very forgiving if you hit it to the left, right, or center. And campers come in all shapes and sizes. There's also people that'll use their Titans in the same way they would camp with a pilot. Tone users are notorious for it because that's really like a pilot with an AWOL. And I'm still going to be aggressive. I'm really don't care if I'm going to take some damage. I'm going to get as much damage as I can here, and then I'm going to come back as a pilot. But I make a decision to end up changing up my play once this fails. I played this completely wrong. I was hoping to at least catch one of them with the nuclear ejector, put on some damage. Then things get worse when I miss that arc grenade, forcing me to throw another one, which means then I can't maneuver myself with my grappling hook. So that just went for shit. What I am going to do when I come back, though, is adjust my play. Because the thing is, if they're that far in the back, right now, my magnetic grenade launcher is going to be absolutely useless. What I need to do is change over to a laser, and then I'm going to be able to counter their play. And sometimes that's the only way to win, and that's the problem with some people. They're way too rigid on their builds. You have to be able to adjust, and Titanfall gives you like 30 seconds after spawning to change your kits. This guy was outplayed just due to basic strafing. Good strafing in first-person shooters is something you need to have down on lock. Anyways, we're going to move it into the engagement with these Titans, and look, as soon as I start hitting them, they start backing away. It's exactly what I was expecting them to do. That's the kind of players that they are, so I'm going to be able to counter them with this laser. I'm also going to use some arc grenades to try to keep them from seeing me. This guy gets super aggressive, but you're still going to lose to some of these anti-Titan weapons. That was pretty close here. I just want to do a quick maneuver here, just long enough to get into my Ronin. From here, I now have the advantage. And that's kind of the nice thing about attrition, is that if you're playing it correctly, you are going to have your Titan up quite a bit, as long as you're landing some damage on Titans. That's really your priority. When you lose your Titan, is to just start doing damage to other Titans, because that's the quickest way to get your own Titan back. And once you crush campers once, you have to keep them on the back foot, because campers will always try to reestablish those power positions. So make sure that you're continuously aggressive and don't let them set up again. Now, we can't really talk about taking on campers without talking about phase shift, because it's that ability that lets you cut gaps like that and get into the spawn like this. This ability is honestly so fucked, and I believe that this tactical is the biggest crutch in the game. Game Sager, come on, man, you're better than that. You don't need to stoop to that level in order to get some kills. I should edit that out. No, I'm gonna leave it in because it's true. Honestly, taking on people with this ability, the reason I stopped using it was because I think it's stupid strong, and there is just no skill involved with it. I have so many thoughts of it that I need to talk about it in a completely separate video. But I just want to let it be known that even though this ability is absolutely amazing, there's no refuting that. There's really no counter to this. The thing is that this ability actually counters so many other abilities. It counters AWOLs because you can cut the distance. It counters gravity stars. It counters grappling hook because I've grappled so many guys that then phase shift out of it, and I'm like, damn it, I had you. But your ability just trumps it. It goes against explosives, any kind of area of effect damage, it'll take away. Smoke screens are absolutely useless going up against this ability. The flag caps, we already talked about that. There's just so many things. Oh my god, see, I'm still talking about it. I was supposed to get off. I was supposed to be talking about camping. Alright, these guys are camping on that back building right now, and that's kind of hard to get to. I need to take a pretty big flank, but I can't worry about them if I have guys behind me, so I have to first take out this guy, and then I'm going to go take out his campy friends. Because if you have campy friends, and then you also have guys in the back of my spawn, I am going to get killed. So right now I'm trying to figure out, can I actually kill them by just going here in the middle? Because there's two ways to do this. The thing is, you're either going to use some sort of long-range weapon to just outrange them, or as a player like myself who's more aggressive, I'm going to go for that flank. But the thing is, I don't want to spend too much time doing the flank either. This was actually just my teammate that I heard. I was thinking about possibly shooting them through the center. You can go from inside the building and then run up top and then do some shots, but I thought maybe not. So I end up trying to get back there, but then I run into another player. So right now I'm going to take a defensive stance for a second, and then I'm going to open up even more. And this is actually the biggest problem with campers, is that it takes up so much time. But you have to do these kind of things if you want to end up taking them out sometimes, especially if they're those guys that are really on their game, watching out in front of them. But once I set up with this grappling hook, it's just lights out for this dude. I'm getting so good with this grappling hook. I'm going to put out a whole video. Oh my god, there's so many videos that I want to put out, but there's really not enough time right now. And Sebastian's crying. I'm going to go check up on him. I'll be right back. So for those of you who don't know, I actually just recently had a baby. His name is Sebastian Bash. He's awesome. And every so often, you're probably going to hear him in the background. So just be aware. That's just kind of what happens when you have a baby, man. Anyways, we're about to move into the next clip, but right here I make a mistake of having the wrong kit on for pilot versus pilot. For some reason, I like to alternate between attrition and pilot versus pilot each game. I don't know why, but every so often it kind of puts me in this position where I don't have the right guns available. There's also something to be said for using the exact same equipment for a few games, because then you get this familiarity that you really lose when you start trying to use too many different kits and too many different weapons at once. Alright, let's get back to these campers, and there's lots of ways to camp, guys. The thing is, you don't need to always be in the back of your spawn. That's actually one of the worst ways to camp. A better way to camp is to actually hold some sort of power position, midfield, things like that. Like, these guys have set up a perimeter of an A-wall. He ended up dodging my grenade, that's why he left the A-wall. When I slid in here, by the way, guys, I was just taking off some shots, not to kill him, just to kind of give some suppressive fire in case he decided to give chase, and I did end up getting a hit marker from that. Anyways, I'm trying to go see what's going on. I just saw a dead body, so I'm not going to go that way. Now I have to open up again. And this is actually why we end up losing this game. It takes me so much time to engage these guys because I have to keep cutting the distance between them. They're putting down AWOLs. They're putting down multiple turrets. Multiple turrets are really hard to take on because even though turrets don't kill you in one burst now, if you have a turret that lands just one burst on you and then also another pilot that even doesn't have good aim hits you once, then you end up dying. If you have multiple turrets, it's the same kind of thing. And after a good amount of time, I finally get the drop on these guys, but there's a fine line between taking on campers and then going into a spawn point. Like right here is a really common spawn point. For me to go past that point was really stupid. It's like going at a red light, not stopping, getting T-boned. You gotta get the signals, guys, and that's really what makes good gameplay. Now right now I'm trying to cut the angle off as I'm going after this camper, but this again is one of the problems going up against campers, is that there's other people that you gotta bypass, and sometimes when that slows you down, it really wrecks your engagement. But I want you guys to see that I did have the general idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to skip around the top and then save my phase shift for when I get close to him. And again, this ability is just stupid. I don't even know why I'm showing it. Oh yes, I know why I'm showing it. It's because it totally kills campers because you're able to do stuff like this. This is the perfect approach. I probably could have milked that in between to get even more distance with my phase shift instead of spamming it as soon as I came out of the upside down. That's really the smarter way to do it. If you want to get the maximum distance, I'm gonna leave a present for him. By the way, look at the score here, and we end up losing because usually a lot of newer players will fall for the campy styles. They will continuously just run into people and, you know, get mowed down, and that's what ends up making me lose games like this. It's usually people that don't take the time to do the flanks, and sometimes I'm like, oh geez, I'm just not fast enough because I need to get these things, I need to do these wraparounds much faster because then I have more engagements. And this is what I want you to take away, is that when people are really campy like this, you can actually just do the reverse camp. You just camp their spawn. And I already know that this guy has AWOL, and I'm going to use... God damn it, this ability is just too good. Like, look how it totally just ruins the AWOL. So I don't even know if I'm going to feel good about that, but I feel good about this. Killing somebody's buddy with his buddies. Yeah, I'm from Canada. Hey, buddy. Anyways, killing that guy with his buddy's AWOL, that's a feeling you can't take away. Alright, so I'm going to make the getaway from here. This ability. Anyways, live fire is going to be coming out. I'm really excited for this mode, but I think they're going to have to fix their tacticals. If not, it's going to be just a minute or less of randomness. If you guys want to support my channel, remember to comment a few words, a poem. I'm always interested in your feedback too. Whatever you guys want to see on the channel, make sure to throw it out. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. How about whoever gets the most votes on their suggestion for the next episode, that's what we'll be doing. Have pity on me. Please don't do the Cold War. All right, I'll see you guys next time. I think this guy knows me. All right, I'm going to leave him alone.